What's happening, guys? Gemma here, and back again to talk about the Sega Mega Drive Mini, as all of the 42 games have now been announced. Sega have done a fantastic job at drip feeding the games over the last couple of months, thus pushing the hype, pushing the speculation, pushing the rumours to the absolute limit. It is an amazing marketing technique, not gonna lie, Sega. Thank you very much for really doing something right with the mini market. That's not to say that the Super Nintendo got it wrong. Clearly the PlayStation 1 classic mini console had a few things wrong with it, unfortunately, but yeah, it's been cracked, it's been hacked, it's all good now. But this seems phenomenal. This is one of the best video game lineups on a mini to date, and I think Nintendo and PlayStation, should they do anything else with their mini console market, should take note. Let's take a look at the 42 games. I'm not going to talk about absolutely every single one of them. I'm going to pick out the key ones for me. You guys are going to talk about it in the comment section below, and I want to know if you will be getting one on launch. For me, this is definitely, by far, for me personally, the best of the bunch yet, and it is nice to see Sega capitalizing the console market once again. Okay, it's a regurgitation of a console that was very popular in the 90s, but wow, Sega, we love you and thank you very much. If you're new here, punch that subscribe button. Let's get into it and enjoy the video. So I've got a list of all the games on my iPad here. Like I said, I'm not going to go through them all. You guys can see that these shelves here are dominated by Sega. You might not be able to see this one, but I will show it anyway. And of course, we had Tanglewood. It's been a great year for Sega. It was actually released last year, Tanglewood, which was a brand new Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis game, released, developed on original hardware by Big Evil Corp. Go and check them out. I've actually done a lot of work with them. There's a review on my website. I've talked about it a lot. So it's been a fantastic year, and I think this is going to push it even more. Now, obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is it's a staple title, isn't it? I mean, it's definitely nowhere near as good or as exciting as Sonic 2, but nonetheless, I think if Sega didn't include Sonic, people just were like, come on, dude, come on. It's a great game for the kids. I know my nephews love Sonic. In fact, any Sonic game, so Sonic 1, I'm sure they'll be all over it. We got Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin, I still don't understand it to this day. Personally, I'm like, it's not... I guess it is a staple title on the Sega Mega Drive, but had it not have been included on this mini, it wouldn't have bothered me too much. I wouldn't kind of sit there and go, oh, where's Echo the Dolphin, you know? I just think, I'm not quite sure. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Obviously, Castlevania Bloodlines is an absolute wicked title. Extremely expensive if you want to buy it on original software, as is Mega Man Wily Wars. I do have an amazing repro cartridge with box up there. You guys may have seen it on my Instagram. But there are some titles on here that are really fantastically expensive if you were to buy the original version. So for me, I think this mini already, like, there's so much value for money. There's so much value for money. Whereas something like the PlayStation Classic, it was £90 on launch. You got 20 games, and at least 10, maybe 8 to 10 of those games weren't necessarily bowl me over kind of titles. It was more around the nostalgia of the other remaining titles like Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy VII. But this, just so much quality. We've got Streets of Rage 2. Is Streets of Rage 2 one of the best gaming soundtracks in gaming? I would say it is. I was gonna say Vice City, but nah, you know, those songs were around before Vice City. This game was like the ultimate couch co-op experience back in the day. It was freaking awesome. In fact, I just love the whole series. I'm not overly fussed about Streets of Rage 4 coming out because I think the ship has sailed. We all love Streets of Rage for what it was. I don't know if we're gonna love it as much now, but hey, I could be wrong. Gunstar Heroes, A really nice side-scrolling action adventure game. Again, very expensive to buy on original hardware, so I think again, coming down to value for money, you're getting an absolute diamond for your buck with this one. Sonic 2, of course. Yeah, come on. Contra, love me a bit of Contra. Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition. For me, Street Fighter was at its pinnacle in the 16-bit days. Absolutely at its pinnacle. Slightly better, sound-wise, graphical-wise, on the Super Nintendo. But nonetheless, I still think it holds up really, really well on the Sega Mega Drive. It's aged really well. And of course, like, I just like, oh my God, can you imagine if they released like a mini joystick as well? How cool would that be? Because for playing like your fighting games, and there's a few on here, it would absolutely make total sense. Speaking of fighting games, we've also got Virtua Fighter 2. Bloody hell, that game looks wicked on the Sega Mega Drive. Again, it's those types of games that I think really push the hardware to the limit. And I think like down the line, Sega could really take more control of this mini market if they release more peripherals like the like a joystick. That would be so cool. So you've not just got your joypads or your controllers, you've got a joystick as well for these fighting kinds of games. Golden Axe, solid game, but really loved like the different characters, different abilities. I've never completed it. I used to get kind of wasted before I got past the second level, but it's you know what, it's fun, and that's what we want when we're kind of playing these minis with friends, with families on stream. Absolute fun, and there's plenty of it here. Tetris, brilliant. Well, Tetris is a staple series across. Wow, man, it was the first Game Boy game I ever played. We used to pass it round, like my brother, my stepsister, I even think like my dad's girlfriend at the time, she used to play it. You know, it was one of those family games, and it's timeless. It is timeless. Columns is also on here, which was a game that Sega put out to try to compete with the level of Tetris. It never really did, but Columns is fun, man. It is fun. The colour palette is great. It's fast. It's got a nice little soundtrack to it. Oh, Kid Chameleon, yes. Dude, Kid Chameleon, I do have a lot. In fact, I have a lot of these games in here. I know I've got Kid Chameleon somewhere. Again, just a really nice, fun, side-scrolling action-adventure game. Dynamite Heady, Light Crusader. We got Road Rash 2, mate. Road Rash 2. So, you know, nice little races in there. Not just your box standard cars, but motorbikes, gamers. Motorbikes that we can just kick other players off, man. It's just, like, I can't help but smile as I go through the list of this. I mean, there's just so much in here. Thunder Force 3, Super Fantasy Zone, Shinobi 3. I mean, the list goes on. Ghouls and Ghosts, if ever you want a challenge, Ghouls and Ghosts is where it's at. I think it's one of the hardest games in the 16-bit period, guys. But Altered Beast, again, one of the first Sega Mega Drive games I played. In fact, I think I've told this story, but it was Altered Beast, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and Sonic 1 were the first three games my stepsister had on her Sega Mega Drive Christmas 1992. So Altered Beast is on here, Sonic 1 is on here, obviously Michael Jackson with that scandal, that's not on here. I mean, there's an absolute ton to go off, so I'm really genuinely like happy with the nice variation we've got on the Sega Mega Drive Mini. I am hyped, and I think it's nice because it's not as expensive as a PlayStation Classic. I think it zones into the UK at $69.99 compared to the $89.99 of the PlayStation Classic, and I believe the Super Nintendo Classic, I think I paid $69.99 for that. Could have been $79.99, but nonetheless, by far the best value for money mini. Thank you, Sega. We are so grateful. I am so stoked, and it is a day one purchase for me, and we will be blasting some streams out as well. So I think I've made my hype pretty darn clear that the Sega Mega Drive Mini will take a firm place here in the Lady Lounge. I'll be doing reviews throughout it, so make sure you guys, like I said, thump that subscribe button and let me know which of the 42 mini Mega Drive titles you guys are looking forward to in the comment section below. It'd be nice to hear some of your feedback. It really just, you know, the retro gaming scene is so strong, and even if it's not with original hardware, even if it is through these minis, at least it's an opportunity for you, for our like the young nephews, nieces, kids, to really get into what we loved as kids. And for me, that's what it's all about. It is a family, it is a good community, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm going to end it on that really positive note there. I hope you guys join me for an amazing video on Wednesday when I find, well actually I don't find it, I purchased an Atari Jaguar bundle. You don't want to miss it, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much. My name is Gemma. Take care. See you guys soon.